Hello. Um, as I sit here in my office this morning, this afternoon, thinking about my past, what I went through when I was in an abusive lifestyle, I never once thought about every word I spoke would come to pass. I kept when I was going through, and when you're being abused, you don't know that the negative words that your abuser is using on you and you're using the same words on yourself. I didn't realize that I wasn't hurting no one but me even more. The more he was hurting me, the more I was hurting me. And I think about that and and I said to myself, and somebody may not understand it, but I appreciate what I went through because there was a purpose and a reason for me going through the abuse that I went through. Um, and I am glad that I was able to go through it and get out of it because I know I'm going to help some young single woman or some woman that has been abused in their past, or they may be being abused now, or they just may be just they may not have went through the extensive abuse that I went through, the sexual abuse. I went through. The sexual abuse and it hurt. It really hurt. It really put a damper on my spirit, on me, on my life, on my realization of who I was as an individual. It took something away from me when I was being abused that it took me years to get it back. um, I didn't, at the time when the abuse first started, it was just a slap here or cussing out or making fun of or negative words. It was the first, just the negative words, the negative comments, um, the filthy talking. And when you hear something like that, it tends to create an attitude in you about yourself. And it created an attitude in me about myself that, when I came into the relationship, um, I was a very happy, happy young lady. Um, I lift myself up. I felt I was somebody. But over time, the abuse, the words, over time, they started to grow in me an attitude, a bitterness towards myself um, over time. Um, I experienced failure. I felt that I couldn't do anything right. Excuse me. No matter how hard I tried, I just couldn't do anything right. I couldn't do anything to please him. And I sit here and I think about that, or when I get on my podcast and I listen to some of the episodes I have already recorded, and I go over and I listen to what I went through, and I am so grateful that I survived it. I am so grateful that I was able and I had the strength to leave it, leave that lifestyle. And I know I had said, there was more to the sexual abuse than what I had spoke about, not just the sodomizing that he did, but the other things that he made me do, that I had to do. I couldn't say no. I better not say no. And it took me thinking and, saying to myself, I need to tell this part. It's not easy, but I know that someone is probably, some young lady probably have experienced it or maybe going through it right now. This here live stream is going to be very explicit. I'm going to say things that it's going to be hard, but I gotta say it because I feel that if you speak what you have been through, it helps you to get over it. Long as you keep the hurt or what if you just give part of it, there's the other part that needs to be spoken about. And I'm not here when I tell you, the other part about the sexual part. I'm not here for you to, um, uh, I'm not here to say that, oh my God, oh God, I feel so. No, I want to help somebody, so I have to say it. If you could tell by the way I'm talking that it's kind of hard for me to say it, but I am going to. Excuse me, I have to. There was a time where when I was with this guy, my children's father, that he would make me have oral sex. He would force me to have oral sex. He would tell me how he wanted me to have oral sex on him. He would describe how he wanted it done. And if I didn't do it like he described how he wanted it done, I got slapped. I got punched in the stomach. I got punched in the side. And I'm very surprised that, sometimes how hard he hit me that he didn't break any of my ribs. He didn't damage my stomach. I'm surprised that, when he knocked me down and I hit my head, I didn't have a concussion. I'm surprised that when he put a pillow over my face that he let me up. He was that evil and that angry if I didn't do something that he told me to do. He was like he turned in a total different person. Somebody that I didn't know. His face took on a different look. His voice took on a different sound. I guess you could say I felt that way, I thought that way, I seen it that way because I was so fearful. And when you're fearful, you just imagine or see all kind of things. And I did. I was so fearful, but yet I did it. Whatever he told me to do, I did it. And even though what he made me do to him, I still, in a sense, loved him. Or was it really love? Was it desperation? I didn't really know what it was. But all I know that as time went on, I became numb. I became like a robot. Wind me up, and there I go. But somehow I didn't allow what I was going through, what he was taking me through, how he was doing me, to affect me as a mother to raise my girls. And I am so grateful that I didn't allow, I had the strength enough to not allow what he was doing to me for me to take it out on the girls. And as I sit here and I think about that, about when I was going through the abuse, how he was abusing me, and how I stayed strong enough to raise my girls. I loved them so much, and I did not want to hurt them, and I did not want them to see the hurt, the anger, the frustration, the disappointment, the struggles, the uh, all that, the stress. I didn't want them to see it, and I was a good actor because they didn't see it. I didn't allow my girls to see that part of me. There was two me. There's two of me. There were two individuals. There was two people in me. The person, the young lady that was a good mother, that made sure her girls were happy. And the other individual that allowed this man to do whatever he wanted, when he wanted, how often he wanted it. Then there was another individual, the other woman that just didn't care what he did, how. Three people in one individual. I guess you say I had three different personalities. If you want to say that, yeah, maybe I did. But I thank God that the more I think about it, the more I look back on my past, that I survived. And I didn't allow my girls to experience any kind of frustration of what I was going through. I never talked about their dad. Never. That part of me did not want to have the girls see their dad in a negative picture, because he always treated them good. When they were, doing something that wasn't right, they got spanked. But he never, ever spoke evil, wicked, mean to them. It was just me. And as I sit and I think about us, I don't know what I did to cause him to hate me. And that's how I felt it, was that he hated me. And I was trying everything possible to keep him happy. Now, the abuse wasn't every day, it wasn't every week. It was just whenever he was upset about something, or I don't know, if he got upset about um, something at work, or uh, if he got drunk, or uh, like I said, he was cheating on me, and I wasn't. At first, I was upset about it, but then I said to myself, "That's all right. I get a break." At that point, I didn't care how many women he slept with. But whenever they got an argument, the woman, he was cheating with me with, whenever he got an argument with her, he didn't beat her. No, he did it to me. And I'm quite sure he didn't abuse her sexually so because they was together, you know. He did it to me. He I felt he was as I think about it, sit there and think about, I believe he was a individual that was hurting, and I guess this is how he felt better about himself if he hurt me, because I guess he felt, well, this frustration is going to be off of me. I'm not going to worry about it. So I got that attack. Um, he would um, do things unimaginable sexually to me. And I know you may say, well, how could you allow that? Fear will make you allow anything. If you're fearful of somebody, you're not gonna, even though when I left and came back and left and came back, left and came back, it was fear that kept bringing me back because I feared, well, I might as well go back because he's going to be hunting me down. If I walk out the house, he's going to be somewhere around the corner or somewhere. I couldn't go nowhere feeling comfortable unless I was with my grandmother, because that's who I stayed with every time I left him. When I was with my grandmother, he didn't come around. No, because my grandmother didn't like him. She knew what he was doing, you know. So when I would see him, he would act like he didn't see us. So I was safe when I was out and about with my grandmother. But if I ever went out by myself, I wasn't safe. So, I just wanted to get on here today and just explain more and let young women know, single women know that um, I understand if you want to, if you're going through a sexual situation and I understand. I know what you feel like. I know your thoughts. I know your depression. I know your feelings, your anxiety. I know the hate you feel. I know. So I just want to reach out to you today and just say that you can get out. You can get out. There's an escape route. Look for that escape route. Don't tell nobody. Once you find that escape route, get out. Don't go back, because it will get worse. Every time I went back, it got worse. It didn't get better. For a while, it was okay, but then it started over again. So I know that there's going to be times where you're going to cry. I cried a lot. Yes, I did. But I'm out of it now. And I just want to let you know today that God loves you. I love you. And it does get better. You can escape. You can get out. You can receive help. You can. And remember, I'm always here if you want to talk to me. You can email me at bmsdiva@gmail.com. If you want to be on any of my podcasts, you can email me and say you want to, talk to me. If you wanted to go public, or if you want to keep it private just between me and you, if you want to, let other women hear your testimony, I'm here. I will never turn my back. I'm always open to listen, to understand. And I know if some days you want to just, if you got to cuss, scream, yell, whatever, I'm not going to judge you. However you get your frustration out, if you want to talk to me and scream or cuss or whatever, I understand. So I'm just here wanting to always be a help, a blessing to some single woman, and I'll never give up. I'll never give up. Never give up reaching out to single women. I will never give it up. I will never stop, because I know somebody is going to receive help by my testimony, my journey, what I went through. Have a blessed day. Remember, the Lord loves you. So do I. And I'm always here to listen. Thank you for your time.